Yes, now you can hear us.
I thought that I had already clicked that.
It's been just long enough that we didn't
long
remember to unmute.
Okay, now you can hear us? Okay, good. All right, well, there we were just saying about all the ways in which it's been a long time since we've done this. We had a super busy June. We're so glad you're back with us here the first Sunday in July. And there are lots of little things that we had to reset, and we forgot that we had to reset them until it was time to reset them, as in like right now, a minute ago, 4 minutes ago. So including unmuting ourselves. So lovely to see you all who are joining us here in the Zoom space. And lovely to see folks who are joining us on Facebook Live. And yes, I got that text from you, Lisa, that you're intermittent service. Well, we will have you jump on and say hello whenever it works for you.
Yeah, when it makes sense.
When it makes sense, just unmute and say, now's a good time. So let's see. I'm Sandy O from Emma's Revolution.
I'm Pat Humphreys.
So it's been an incredibly busy month. We were all the way across the country on the East Coast. And then we were in Oregon, and we got to see so many of you in person, and that was kind of amazing. You do exist in 3D, and we're so thrilled that you do. And here we are back in our beloved home space here, and we have a song for you. It's one of the songs on our latest CD, Rooted, that you probably haven't heard us perform live. But it's a beautiful song. We enjoyed writing it, and it's for these wonderful friends of ours. Wonderful friends of ours who will come on and say hello when they've got good access. Oh, there they are. Do you want to say something, Lisa, while you have access? We'll say hi to you. Oh, maybe she doesn't hear me. Let's see. Yeah, probably intermittent service. Anyway, great song that we enjoyed writing for our friends. We hope you enjoyed as much as we do. It's called Two Rooftops, and we'll tell you some about that story, and maybe the folks that we wrote the song for will be able to log in from where they are and tell you a little bit about that story too. But let's do what we always do, which is sing the song through, and then we break it down and we teach you the parts. So folks who are joining us on Facebook, there is a link at the top of your post where you can click to download the lyrics with chords, and you can either play as I'm playing, which is capo 7, or you can play with Pat, capo 4, and if you aren't a person who capos at all, you can use the chords that are in B, which is where the song sounds. And I see that chat from Emma saying, and the Supreme Court changed the world since we last met.
Yes, they did. Ugh.
Yeah, we are now back in the Middle Ages. I did study early music, but I didn't really mean to have to live in the Middle Ages, but here we are, living in the Middle Ages thanks to 5 men and 1 woman on the Supreme Court.
Yeah. I think
so.
6 religious zealots.
6 religious zealots. It's not even the beginning of a good joke.
Or a good song.
So let's sing Two Rooftops, and then I'll try to, let me see if I can find the photo, the image, so I can see if it's a good time for Lisa to say hi, and maybe she'll just pop on if it is. Thanks to y'all for jumping in with us as we come back into this virtual space after being hybrid for 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks. Here we go. Ready? You disappear. I don't know where you go. How could it take so long? I like things clear, planned and decided on. I've been that way all along. You and I, we see things differently, and at times though we may disagree, I remember you said holding hands is not just for crossing the street.
We, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. in the right place. I shape and prune, tend each flower bed, helps me to clear my head. You let things grow, seeing another view. Nothing's a weed to you. You and I, we show love differently. I refine, you tend to let it be. But I remember how you cried when you talk about your daughters. And we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftops. And we, guided by distant stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. We found this place each from our own direction, and we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. Years go by, mountain to ocean sand, still hand in hand. By fate or design, we share a common view that led me right to you. Who could know two rooftops from the past would engrave in us this now at last? And we remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. And we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. Our hearts are in the right place. Our hearts are in the right place. Thank you.
There we go. A love song for our friends Lisa
Yeah.
and Steve. Let's see if we have them. You know, and the thing is that
We do.
oh
You
hey,
have
hey,
us.
let me pop you up here. Here we go. Hey,
Hey.
there's Steve. Hi,
Hey.
Steve.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Lisa.
We're in the car. We were having connection problems.
Oh.
It makes
Oh,
me
hold
cry
on.
every time.
We're having
Every
connection
time I
too.
hear it.
Sorry, we were having connection. You're in the car. We can see you. Now we can hear you.
That's lovely.
I just
Okay.
said it makes me cry every time I hear it.
I'm glad.
Well, your story is such a beautiful story. It was a treat and an honor to be able to write it into a song.
You know, we're going to tell some of that story about why the song is called Two Rooftops. Do you want to say anything about that?
Sure. Well, you put some of it in your email, but Steve bought this pen and ink drawing by an artist named Rio Hay at a gallery in
Japan.
in Okinawa when he was in the military. I bought a couple pieces by the same artist from a gallery on Madison Avenue in New York City. That also, and both pictures are almost identical. They have thatched rooftops, and he bought his in 1968, I think, and I bought mine in 1980 something, long before either of us met. And then when we started dating in 2003, and the first time I went to his house, I saw this picture and I said, I have the same picture almost. And we discovered that we had both had pictures almost identical from this obscure artist nobody's ever heard of. So we decided to get married.
And it stuck, which is why you asked us to write the song, because this was a surprise for Steve for your anniversary, as I recall.
That's right. And there are times when I get frustrated with him or when we're struggling a little bit, but I wanted to enshrine the idea that what really matters is our core values and our hearts are in the right place, in the same place. And so whenever I get frustrated, I just listen to the song, I cry a little bit, and then I'm fine.
and not to put perspective on it, but I think this frustration stuff, I think it goes both ways.
It sounds very real, like a very real relationship.
That's what I was going to say. You know, we wrote this because we talked with you, Lisa, and we heard these kind of particularities about, you know, the way you garden versus the way Steve approaches a garden. You know, and but the truth is, we couldn't have written this song if we didn't understand that dichotomy in couples, where one person is one way, one person is the other way, and that's both what makes it and what makes it frustrating at times.
Right. The other thing I would say is that I was partly inspired by a song that Pat wrote for one of
We're losing you a little bit.
Getting married, or maybe both wrote it. I don't remember. Song for a minister friend of yours who was getting married a couple of years before this song, and that inspired the idea of having a song commission.
It certainly was a wonderful gift from Lisa, and I just love the song and love the fact that you, of all of our most talented and wonderful people, have sung it for us, and I'm just thrilled all the time when I hear it.
That's so sweet. And we heard you were talking, Lisa, that yes, we wrote a song. Pat wrote a song for our friend Vale Weller that was a surprise for her husband on their wedding day, and that's what inspired you. We kind of lost you in the middle there, but you were saying that's what inspired you.
Yeah, but we got the gist of it.
Yeah. And then
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and we love it. And then, you know, the way this song worked out is we talked with you, Lisa. We wrote the song, and we may or may not be losing you, but and then we sang it at a concert, and Steve was there, and Steve didn't even know it was going to happen.
That's right. We got to surprise him at a concert that we were doing down near actually, was it in Laguna Beach?
It was in Laguna Beach.
It was in Laguna Beach. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we love that, and thanks for logging on. I'm sorry, what, you're going to say something, Lisa?
So everyone in Emma's Revolution land, if you're looking for a gift for someone special, try it. They write beautiful songs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a lasting memory. So that's my sales pitch. They're worth it.
We love it. Thanks so much for logging in while you're en route. Lovely to see you all.
Yeah.
We hope to see you all soon.
Have a great day, you all.
So that, my friends, is the story of this song. We were so amazed by that story of the fact that they both had these beautiful drawings from this artist, and that was part of, as Lisa said, you have the same painting, the same drawing I have. Let's get married. It was very cute.
and interestingly, since that time, now we run into Ryohei's work all over the place. Allison, my girlfriend's aunt, when we were clearing out her house and her apartment, had two pieces by Ryohei, and then friend of ours in Cambridge that we were staying with also has two. They're I think they're actually engravings that he did, really beautiful, incredibly detailed engravings, and they were also of the same series, all of them. So it was really lovely. He I think Ryohei just passed fairly recently, but his we are running into his pieces all over the place, so it's kind of a sweet reminder of this story in this song.
Yeah, so that is the story. So let's start teaching you the song. And I see we have lots of folks on Facebook. Our sister Tammy said, "Love you both, sisters. Just popped in to see your beautiful
Nice,
faces
sis.
on a break from work." Oh,
Nice.
And then Robin says, "Oh, now I am compelled to get my guitar out and get my fingertips toughened up." So that's super sweet. And folks up here have written beautiful things, saying, "Beautiful song and a story," said Bonnie. And Carolyn said, "You put the art in heart." That's very nice. Yeah, so it was, oh, and Shireen said that made me cry as well. Yeah, it made us cry to write it. And, but that whole story with the rooftops is what is the core of the song and the through line of the song and the chorus. So let's start with the chorus the way we like to. And you probably heard, if you heard us sing the whole song all the way through, Pat sings the chorus first on her own, then I do harmony, and then I do a little bit of alternate style harmony. So let's have Pat, you want to teach the vocal part?
And we're singing this in the key that we recorded it in, so it's not confusing. And actually, when we perform it, we actually sing it a little bit lower because it's a tiny bit high for me. But we'll work it out. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. So why don't I go through that a few times? Then we, drawn by the artist's hands, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. I'll do one more. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftops. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. So that's the chorus.
So we like to check with the gallery view and see, have you got the chorus? Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, it's nice and slow, so you can jump onto those lines pretty easily, I think. And the only thing that's just a tad bit tricky with the momentum of the song is that when we guided by different stars, landed right where we are, so it stays on that minor a little bit longer before it goes to the that last line. It's a little bit unusual in the cadence of the song, just the way it moves, but I think it's kind of a nice little unusual turn too. I like it.
Good.
I think that was Sandy's little
Thanks.
melodic addition there.
So let's teach my harmony part, even though I don't sing it all the way through, but because we kind of do it that way.
Yeah.
So you'll sing your part, and
I'll sing a little more quietly.
We'll leave the guitar for a minute. I'll leave my guitar part for the minute.
Okay.
Tons of chord changes. I know. In future, would help
It
to have
is-
them written out in all the verses because it's too hard to learn the chord progressions and the new lyrics at the same time. I totally get that, Lynn. And if I possibly could do these things before the day that I do them, I might have time to do that, but I haven't done that yet. But I hear you. There are tons of chord changes.
Okay.
So
let's try that.
see.
1, 2, 3.
Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. And we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. All right, now I thought I'd be able to sing it without playing the guitar, but I think I can't. It's so... I have to play the guitar part. Okay. Let's do it again. 2, 3.
Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. So we do it one more time?
Sure.
2, 3. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. Let's see if that makes sense. We can probably do both voices without guitars. Does that make sense? Harmony part? Or do you need an outro? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Looks like you got it.
Cool.
And I'm glad you like the chords, Lynn, even though there are a lot of them.
This is, some of our songs in recent years have actually sounded like they were a little bit better suited to piano. And I think this actually is one of them. It works fine on the guitar, but I think that the complexity of the chords and stuff like that would actually be a little bit easier on the piano. So if there are piano players out there who are trying this, I'd be curious to hear if that bears out.
It's an interesting idea. Mario saying the harmony is quite challenging. So let's just do the harmony a little bit slower. And Lynn, I hear you. So out of practice at first. Yeah, I gotcha. We also feel like a lot of this is like, whoa, I forgot how to do that little part and that little part of doing this thing. So let's just do a little bit slower with that harmony part.
Sure.
Should we try to do it a cappella? It's just
Yeah,
I couldn't do it and sing. I couldn't not play guitar.
I could leave
and
my
sing.
guitar out.
Yeah, let's try it.
And if it works
let's
better
try
for
it.
you to have yours in.
Just try it.
Try.
1, 2, 3.
Then
we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by distant stars.
stars.
Oh, where's the distant part? Distant land.
Yeah.
And different stars. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. So let's do the first half of that and make sure that's comfortable with the harmony, and then we'll do this. So just the first, then we, drawn by through Rooftop.
Okay.
Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Let's do that again. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Is that making more sense? Folks who are learning the harmony, is that making more sense? A little bit more. Okay. Do you want to say anything about what's the complicated part, Moria, so we know, or is it just repetition?
No, it's good. That's clapping.
Oh,
good.
I thought you meant like that's like mitts a mitts. Oh, okay,
No,
good.
this is ASL for clapping.
Okay.
Like
Nice.
it's
Okay.
in this case, it's like thank you, good.
Got it. I kept seeing it ASL for clapping with 2 hands, so that's good to know. Okay, so then let's go on. We'll start from that first part and we'll go through. Oh, let's do just the second part a couple times and then we'll add them together. So
Yeah, and
again-
Roberta, I see your question about the guitar. Maybe we'll do a little bit more on the melody, and then we'll start into the guitar part. Will that work for you? And I'm not sure if that was directed toward.
That's G on the with the D with his U. That's a G with a D in the bass. Well,
Okay,
well, yes,
yeah.
we'll
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. So yeah, let's do that second half of the
chorus for the harmony my part, so it's we but guided by different stars. Let's do that twice, and then let's put that all together. Ready? So let's see how we. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
2, 3. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. Let's do that again. 2, 3. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. Is that okay for the second half of the chorus? And then we'll put them together. Is that all right for second half of the chorus? Waving and shakings and yeah, good. Okay. Let's put the chorus together with the harmony and we'll sing it through twice. And then I think we probably have that. 2, 3. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. Do one more time. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. And then let's see if we kept our. We were a little flat, but we got it. Because you were saying, Tobes, you liked that last chord. Our hearts are in the right place. Yeah, it's a nice, open, unresolved chord. Okay, now we can talk about guitars a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have checked. Is that good, gallery, for harmony? Yay!
Everybody following that? Sweet.
Yippee.
Okay.
So guitar, there's this descending line. And that's what I tried to give you a little bit of notation on. Do you want to play?
We didn't really go through the verse melody. Do we want to do that, or is that?
Oh, maybe let's talk a little bit about guitar because we're on the chorus.
Yeah, that's
and then
cool.
We'll go
Yeah.
to
Yeah. No, frequently, Roberta, when I play a D, I learned the Richie Havens style, hooking your thumb around the bottom, and it's not the same as playing a D note here, or whatever this. I forget where it is, because I'm not playing that note anywhere.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, because she was asking about a G chord with a D in the bass, and you might not actually even play that.
Yeah,
Let's
I
just
don't
see what you play.
I think it's in that I do a descending line.
right.
So maybe that's what you
play
mean.
from the chorus? Can you play in the chorus?
And then, we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, round the same rooftop.
So yeah, so that's what I think. That's what you.
Yeah. So I think
Oh
it's.
no! Wait, I'm sorry. It might be coming
Hold
up.
on. It's in the descending and the ascending line. I think when I put that D in the bass, so it's not actually. Yeah, that's where I put that that D note with it. Yeah, with the capo on. Is that what you're talking about? Let's can we check in with you,
We can check in
Roberta,
with
and see?
Roberta. Also, what this happens sometimes is Roberta there. Let's see.
I'm here.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm here. Hi. Yeah, I was just wondering what your bass note was there. If you went to
Right.
the straight, if you actually went to the D chord with an alternate bass, or in the G chord with an alternate bass, or wanted to see what your finger was.
Yeah. So I'm doing, in that chorus, I'm doing. Da, 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 da. So do you see
So
that?
she's
So
doing an E minor with a D in the bass, and I wrote it as a G with a D in the bass over the word hand, but it's actually an E minor with a D, and it's not really a D in the bass. She's just lifting up. Okay. So she's in an E minor, then she lifts up this finger to have an open D, which means it makes it an E minor 7.
Okay.
That makes sense?
So,
Yeah. Kind
can you feel
of.
that? Okay.
And what happens next that you needed to ask about? You said star, maybe. Yeah, it's the same thing, probably.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
You bet. And thanks for asking, because this actually, you've shown us. Thanks very much, Roberta. I will unpin you. This is one of those moments where we play something slightly different. So I do my descending things. Hold on. I go back to the 1 chord, but you're still on the minor. But it works.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Our guitar parts. A lot of my descending and ascending lines are just single note. Descending and ascending lines, and Sandy, because of her position, has to change chords.
Yeah,
because she doesn't have those lower notes because she's higher up than
I
that.
couldn't really do that.
Yeah.
Right. So, and yes, thank you for putting that in. I'm
Yeah.
capo 7, Pat's capo 4.
Capo 4.
The song is in B, but of course we do it the way we do it, where we play shapes and sounds that we like.
Yeah, and right.
Yeah.
And you can also do this in just open C.
Yeah, B,
if
in
you
this case, open B, because we're playing.
No,
Oh.
I'm saying you can actually play this in open C if that suits your voice, and the chords would be simpler. So that's a thought for those of you who are, sort of transpositionally minded
Yeah.
and want to go to something that's no capo and would be kind of easier descending and ascending lines. You could just do it open in C with C chords.
Yes. And I'm just looking on Facebook to see what the comments are. Yes. About Keith was saying, I have a tendency to want to drop pitch after a second or two on the last note in the chorus. It feels natural. Oh, okay, yeah. And we love that you do It Feels Natural. And that's what whoever's doing the fabulous hosting, which I think might be Paula, on Facebook there said, we all sing as feels natural. That's lovely.
Yep.
That reminds me that one of the things I forgot to do in our usual sort of how we do this is to thank our amazing tech team. Let's just say that so we have this whole incredible crew: Moria, Paula, Toby, Rada, Marcy, Alice. And earlier this week, Moria sent around the email saying, whoa, this is coming up. We're going to see everybody again. And that got all of our minds in the right place, so to speak. And then there they are doing their things, posting on Facebook for us, posting here in the chat for us. Yay, tech team, says Nancy. And we saw Nancy in person in Portland. That was super sweet.
Yes,
we saw
that was
Marcy in
Yes.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, and also wanted to give a shout out to Rada. Thank you for helping to host some of the things that we were doing hybrid wise while we were on the road. That was very helpful.
Very, very helpful.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's a lot of talk about guitar because there is a lot of movement on the guitar stuff. But want to go do the verse then?
Sure.
Oh, okay, I start the first verse. I
You do.
forgot. We'll start at the top. You disappeared. We'll do those opening chords just because they're nice. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. You disappear. I don't know where you've gone. How could it take so long? I like things clear, planned and decided on. I've been that way all along. You and I, we see things differently, and at times though we may disagree. I remember you said holding hands is not just for crossing the street. Okay, it's a a super long verse, and I went through the whole thing. Well, let me do it in a couple parts. We'll start from You Disappear. 2, 3, 4. You disappear. I don't know where you go. How could it take so long? I like things clear, planned and decided all. I've been that way all along. So those parts are the same. Does that make sense for that tune? Do you have that tune? Look at y'all, thumbsies upsies. Thank you.
Cool.
And then let's go. Marcy's like, double thumbs up. Okay. Let's do that second part, that you and I. We'll start right on the you and I. 2, 3. You and I, we see things differently, and at times, though we may disagree, I remember you said, holding hands is not just for crossing the street. Let's do that section again with the you and I. You and I, we see things differently, and at times, though we may disagree, I remember you said, holding hands is not just for crossing the street. Let's see if those two parts make sense, or we can break them up if you need it.
Let's check messages too.
Yeah. Did you get those two parts together? The you and I into the I remember? Okay, cool. Let's check our messages. Yes, good idea. Makes sense melodically, but I find myself struggling a bit with some of the rhythms. I got that, Tobes. Okay.
Yeah, it's at, well, I don't know where it is for you where it gets caught up, but that yeah, it's unusual. The whole thing is the meter of it is a little bit unusual.
I probably do it a little more relaxed too. Oh yeah, there you are. Yeah, tell us,
Hi.
Tobes. Let me get you up there, or get yourself up here.
Oh, that's a lovely idea, Lynn. Yeah, if we had a metronome or a tick for the beat one time through, might help. But I just noticed that there's some notes that are held a little longer than I expect, or a little closer together than I expect throughout the entire verse. And so I'd like a little more practice on the rhythm. It's just practice. It's not really.
Okay.
There's. I don't know if the beat would help me or not. It's more just I want to practice a couple more times.
Yeah, and I was. That's very helpful to hear. And I love your haircut. Okay, I didn't get to say that before. That's great. Yeah, I think I also sing it kind of relaxed, like slightly behind the beat. So let's do it a couple times, and we'll see. Thank you, Tobes. Okay, so if we're from the you and I part, 1, 2, 3. You and I, we see things differently, and at times, though we may disagree, I remember you said, holding hands is not just for crossing the street. You and I, we see things differently, and at times, though we may disagree, I remember you said, holding hands is not just for crossing the street. So I tried to not be so relaxed and loose with it, and have a little more rhythm.
But it's definitely unusual. The notes that you hold a little bit, and the notes that where you move a little faster. It's not it's not necessarily predictable exactly. So it just takes a little memorization.
Yeah. Was that any better?
Yeah, that helped a lot on that part.
Okay.
And I'd like to hear the first part a couple more times as well, because there were a couple points in there.
Okay. All right. And it'll be interesting to me if when you hear Pat sing the melody, which is in theory the same melody, whether you find that the rhythm is different, because she and I sing it a little bit differently.
Okay.
Don't you think we do?
No,
We
actually,
you
I don't. But
I mean, rhythmically, I think we might, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. That's what I'm saying. We'll find out. Here we go. We'll start at the top.
it's the same rhythm still.
1, 2, 3, 4. You disappear. I don't know where you're gone. How could it take so long? I like things clear, planned and decided on. I've been that way all along. You and I, we see things differently, and at times, though we may disagree, I remember you said holding hands is not just for crossing the street. And I know you wanted to hear the first part a few times, and I didn't do that. So let's do the first part a couple times. We'll do it twice through, and then we'll come back and do the whole thing. Just that first part. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. You disappear. I don't know where you're gone. How could it take so long? I like things clear, planned and decided on. I've been that way all along. Go back to, you disappear. I don't know where you're gone. How could it take so long? I like things clear, planned and decided on. I've been that way all along. Back to the top. You disappear. I don't know where you're gone. How could it take so long? I like things clear, planned and decided on. I've been that way all along. You and I, we see things differently, and at times, though we may disagree, I remember you said holding hands is not just for crossing the street. Did that help? Lots of repetition? Yeah, okay, cool. I want to hear how you do the verse, Pat. I want to know. No, it's great. Because sometimes we just phrase it differently, that's all.
It's still the same rhythm.
I hope so,
We're still
yeah,
playing the same thing. Jeez.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Good.
I shape and prune. So this is the next verse. Tending each flower bed helps me to clear my head. You let things grow, seeing another view. Nothing's a weed to you. You and I, we show love differently. I refine, you tend to let it be. But I remember how you cry when you talk about your daughters.
How was that? Good.
It's still it's a unique, kind of rhythm. It's nice. I like it, which is why we do it.
Yes.
But it's just unusual. Let's see. In verse 1, there's a downbeat before clear, differently and disagree.
That's probably
These
true.
words are sung off the beat. Yeah,
You
it's
and
syncopated for sure.
We see
Yeah.
things differently.
Yep.
And at times, though we may disagree.
Yep,
That's
yep.
the downbeat.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I think that's what one of the things that makes the song interesting is it has, there's interesting little sort of pushes and pulls around the rhythm, which I find really fun.
I do too.
And we play with those a lot,
Yep. I love singing
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the beat, says Marcy. Nice. Okay, and then the third verse, we share it. So I do the beginning part. Let's do the third verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Years go by, mountain to ocean sound, still hand in hand.
My fate or design, we share a common view that led me right to you. Who could know? 2 rooftops from the past would engrave in us this love at last. And we remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you.
So this is why apparently the songs that we're writing now require 2 sessions to teach them because they have a lot of.
What are you talking about? They're fine.
We did Beauty of Each Face. It took a while because I'm realizing we just sang the third verse, and so there's harmony that we need to teach you for the third verse, and then there's still a bridge. So let's do the harmony.
The harmony on the last verse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the bridge is short. It's just 2 lines.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Great. Okay, so you do Who Could Know? Is that right? So I do Who Could Know? Yep, that's what I do. Let's
From that part?
Yeah.
Ready?
From Who Could Know to Rooftops from the Past is where we're going to count you in for.
1, 2, 3. Who could know?
2 rooftops from the past would engrave in us this love at last. And we remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. So let's do the Who Could Know lines a few times, and then we'll get into the we remember part because they're very different.
And you'll notice, especially if you're paying attention to the rhythm of this, that who could know, those are all pickup notes. Who could know, knows the downbeat. So it starts before the 1, actually, in the line. Who could know? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Chord changes in sequence.
Right. I love that folks are helping each other out about how to learn stuff. So I saw, maybe it was Marcy who said, if you're trying to learn something with tricky rhythm, sing it, and then sing it the next day and then sing it the next day too. We've definitely heard from choir directors and people like that. When Kate Munger was here, she said that what you need to do is learn something and then take a break from it and come back to it again, because there's something about it just plays in your mind and it sets in your mind and that kind of thing. So this idea of learning, singing it day after day kind of thing also works. And Lynn is saying, tip for guitarists, try singing through the chord changes by the name and sequence instead of singing the words. That will help you to memorize them and then return to learning the lyrics. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting approach. I think in order for me to really knit the lyrics and the chords together, I tend to need to do them together. But ultimately, I'm a little bit backward in that approach. I ultimately then can sing them when I'm trying to teach them to somebody, for instance. I'm like, G, D, C, G, D. I can do that, but I can't do it first necessarily. So see how it works for you.
And actually, I was sort of hearing that as in, you might want to practice the chords and then practice the chords with the tune, or practice the tune and then,
but that's what I'm saying. I have an easier time doing them both together, but you might have a different approach.
Right.
It depends on how your particular brain works.
And Nancy was also saying the thing about starting with the last line of a song or a piece and working backwards, which you can definitely do. It's a little bit easier with sheet music and a score that you're reading than, than sort of with the song that you're learning by earless way, but it can be done that way. So let's try that just for practice's sake. For this thing that we're learning, the harmony on the last verse for my part, let's do the "We Remember We Said" part first, and then we'll do the "Who Could Know" part, and then we'll put them together. Yes. Okay.
So we're starting where? At
We remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. So last two lines of verse 3. And let's just do those 3 times.
And are we teaching the harmony?
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. We remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. Let's do that again from We Remember We Said. We remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. Let's do that one more time. We remember we said. We remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. I love you for what I am because of you. Right, we do the other part in unison, which is nice. Let's do it a cappella if we can. 1, 2, 3. We remember. 1, 2, 3. We remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. I love you for what I am because of you. Yeah. Do those 2 lines make sense, friends? Yeah? Okay. Then let us do the "Who Could Know? 2 rooftops from the past would engrave for us in this love and last." Let's do that 3 times, and then we'll roll it into
Okay.
the We Remember that we just did. So it's "Who could know? Who could know?" 1, 2, 3. Who could know? 2 rooftops from the past would engrave in us this love at last. And we'll do that again. Who could know? 2, 3. Who could know? 2 rooftops from the past would engrave in us this love at last. Let's do it one more time. Who could know? 1, 2, 3. Who could know? 2 rooftops from the past would engrave in us this love at last. We remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. Let's do it without breaking it up. Let's do from "Who Could Know" all the way through the end. 1, 2, 3. Who could know? 2 rooftops from the past would engrave in us this love at last. We remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. And I'm remembering, well, first of all, let's see how that's going. How's that going? Okay, all right.
And let's see, Kirsten, sorry, you were asking about my picking pattern. I am finger picking this, so I'm doing. So I'm picking out a lot of individual notes and periodically just, doing. Yeah. So, it's a combination of kind of, arpeggiating those chords like that, one note after another, and then playing a few little melody lines in there, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you.
Kirsten wrote excellent.
Thank you,
Sounds
thank
so
you.
lovely. Nice.
And Sandy's using a flat pick.
I am using a flat pick.
Yeah. So this is what it sounds like, just the guitar parts together. So we could play that you know. Da-da-dum. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I didn't go all the way through. So let's do that part again. 1,
Which part?
2,
That whole
3.
thing?
Who could know?
Okay.
Yeah, and all the way to the end. Sorry. So I'm just doing a little bit of movement behind, and then Sam's doing the, sort of chucks
hitting the beat.
and the, more rhythm
2,
in there.
3, 4. Yeah, I'm hitting that kind of.
Thanks. Yeah, we just try to play things that will sort of complement one another's parts.
Yeah.
And Sandy also she's playing up the neck far enough so that there's a lot of, are you a lot of fifths in those?
So
chords?
I always play those chords that have a lot of ringing strings.
So strings that are open.
Your top
that are
2
not
strings
fretted.
are not fretted, so they're like that kind of thing. So it keeps the fact that those notes are there in every chord, they just kind of ring through like bells. It's really, really.
And then I just
something
fill
I
in
love.
little doot-doots in there, So I vary my, picking, but I like I said, I either arpeggiate that kind of thing, or I play little melody notes here and then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Nice to get to play the guitars separately
Yeah.
for you all, since we sing sometimes separately.
Yeah, and you're right. That
Vocals.
Sandy's guitar, when she has those 2 strings open, it creates this high drone throughout. Yeah, it's like we create kind of between the 2 guitars, kind of a deconstructed 12-string.
Yes. And Marcy was saying, love the sound of the guitar played up the neck, but it's harder on the fingers. It shouldn't actually be harder on the fingers. That probably means that you just need to take your guitar into a guitar shop and have them adjust the action. And the action is how high the strings are off the neck, and also if the neck is bent and stuff like that.
Yeah. If your neck is actually set properly, going up the neck should be easier. Not just because there's less space between the frets, because you can see they're closer together up here, but also they should be, for all intents and purposes, easier to press down higher up the neck, and they also should be, when they're not right near the nut, this part right here, the distance is still the same. It should be the same all across, but because there's less tension, because it's not so close to the nut, they're easier to press down up there.
So maybe take that guitar in.
Yeah,
when you
have
a
somebody
chance.
have a look at it, and find a guitar tech who's nice about it.
Yeah.
Some guitar techs are not so nice about it if you're not a professional, but just go, if they're not nice, go to another music store. I worked in a couple of different music stores, and I really noticed over the years the difference in how people treated me in different places. And women are just not always respected in those situations, and they ought to be in it. It's a demand that we should be able to make, and make it clear that if they're not going to be nice about it, we'll go somewhere else.
Yeah. And I actually do think you think we should move on to teach the bridge and the ooh part and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty straight ahead, and we'll only go just a little bit over. But if folks have time to stay with us,
so let's do the
we'd love to have you.
bridge. We found this place each from our perspective. Let's do your part, Pat.
You do have a nice guitar tech, yay. He said he can't lower the action anymore with the strings buzzing.
Right.
I think you need a new guitar. Yeah, it might be that the particular instrument that you're playing on, it is possible that some guitars, less expensive guitars, sadly, I think they should be better set up than more expensive guitars personally, because it's harder to play when the strings are too high off the frets, when the neck's not straight, all that stuff. Places don't pay enough attention to that, in my humble opinion. But it is sometimes in a more expensive guitar, you'll need something like a neck reset, and that's an expensive proposition. So if it's a lesser expensive instrument, it's not usually worth that kind of major surgery.
Are you coming up to talk to us, Marcy?
Yeah.
Come on up.
Just going to say that what I learned after I bought it was that it was really built for bluegrass, and so that hard rhythm chops, and that's not what I can play. So
that doesn't mean you can't set the guitar up for that.
Yeah,
it means a little bit more. You have to have a different setup on the nut and the saddle.
I will ask him. It's possible that some of what you said, I mean, he was nice to me, but there may be, too bad Lynn's not closer. Lynn,
right. Yeah, she would set it up just the way you like, or she would direct you toward a guitar that would be better suited to the kind of playing that you play too. Yeah. It's an old friend, Lynn Unger.
And we've said this thing before, but hand size and guitar size, that was a big thing I had to do.
Matters.
Is find a nice smallish guitar. This might not look small in the space, but the body is actually smaller and the neck is not very wide, right? Because I had some hand issues and I can't wrap around that big thing and all that jazz. So we're, our bodies, sometimes these guitars are made, if they're made for bluegrass or something, they could be made for like a bigger hand and a bigger body.
They're made for bigger bodies in general. They were made to be so that you could hear the guitar part over the banjo. In the banjo, those bluegrass banjos are very, very loud. And at the time there weren't a whole lot of women playing rhythm guitar in those bands, so they didn't consider women's size or anything like that. I mean, and you can build a guitar that can roar, that can be really loud, but you have to just build the dimensions are a little different. You have to have a little deeper body, but you can have a smaller body that is really loud too. They just weren't thinking in those terms.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder why not. Why were they not thinking about women? Oh, wait. It sounds like the Supreme Court justices, one of whom was a woman, which is shocking. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Marcy. Marcy's part of our tech team.
She's a woman of the patriarchy.
We love our tech team. Thanks, Marcy. I saw there was thanks for Rada in the chat there for them being our tech host for that concert with Joan and Leah this past Sunday. Yes. Okay. Let's plow on in to the bridge then. Want to do the tune?
Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. So it starts on, well, for me, it starts on the F shape.
So we're starting at the words, we found this place from our own perspective. And we'll do Pat's part first.
Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We found our place each from our own perspective, though we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. So I'll go through that again. 1, 2, 3. We found this place each from our own perspective, and we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. I'll do one more. Let's try that. We found this place each from our own perspective, and we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way.
She's doing the little lead in to the oohs too. So let's see.
It's a short little ooh section.
How
too,
is
so.
everybody doing on Pat's Bridge?
Does that
tune? Okay.
make sense?
Or otra?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Cool. Great.
All right. So then
let's put
let's do my
Sandy's
harmony part.
and I'll back off a little.
We found is where I'm gonna start it. We found this place.
1, 2, 3.
We found this place each from our own perspective. Though we remain in sequence to this day. Sorry. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. All right, let's do that again and I'll play the right chords.
1, 2, 3.
We found this place each from our own perspective. Though we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. Let's do that one more time. I'll try to get it right. Keep getting a little bit here and there.
1, 2, 3.
We found this place each from our own perspective. Though we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. Let's do it, and I won't play the guitar, and I will sing my part so you can hear it a little bit more. One more time, and then we'll
We
sing.
do without guitar? My part?
We found. It's a bit of a jump there. We found this place each from our own perspective. And we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. It's going to lead in. So we found this place each from our own perspective, and we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. And then the little rise thing. Is that making some sense? I think I'm doing, almost exactly the same thing every time. Is that okay? There are a couple options, right? So there's like, we found this place. I'm definitely doing that from our own perspective. And I'm doing this, and I'm doing that same leap the next time. And we remain, and going back down to that low note. We remain in sequence to this day. And then, I stay up there. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it. I'm not sure if I do that low note. You probably sing that low note.
No, I think.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I wouldn't want it any other way. Hey. Let's do it together. Let's do it without the guitars.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. We found this place each from our own perspective, and we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah, I need to take a breath somewhere. How's that? That's good enough for the moment.
It's again, this is like she's doing very unusual leaps, unusual intervals, but the chords, really determine where to go. And you can hear like there's some dissonances and things in there, but like I said, we like those kinds of things. We like to build those in.
Let's do your ooze and see if it's. Why don't you do your bridge?
Ooze and ahs?
Oh, yeah, let's do the ooze
Is that
and
what you're
ahs,
saying?
and then we'll put them together. Yep.
Okay.
Ahs and ooze. Sorry.
Let's see. So, I have to go sort of from that, at least from the last part of that bridge into the ooze
It
and
would be
ahs
more
part.
helpful to hear more of the melody from Pat against Sandy's harmony again. Okay,
Okay.
let's do that.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it quiet so you could hear the harmony, but yeah.
We found. What note do you start on?
We found this
Okay,
place.
cool.
1, 2, 3.
We found this place each from our own perspective, and we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find a cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah. We can do it one more time and then see if that's helpful.
Want to hear it again?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
We found this place each from our own perspective, and we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find a cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way.
Does that work for folks?
We always get to learn the song
Yeah?
so much more deeply when we teach it to you. We sing it, but
We had an ulterior motive.
we had an ulterior motive. Okay.
So, so I can go from the.
Yeah. You want to do from Wouldn't Want It?
Cadence. I wouldn't want it any other way. I think that's
It's hard
all I
to do without it,
And
right?
it is. It's very weird to do without it.
And who knew you went high and then low? I don't know.
I think
just
that I
my
think I
part.
do that. Somebody will listen to the recording and go, "You didn't sing that note." But I think
Let's
that's
do
pretty
it
close to
together
what I
so
do.
we can hear, and I'll sing mine softly just in case it helps you. Want to do from Wouldn't Want It?
Wouldn't want it any other way. And I'm remembering that actually we ended up taking this part out of the final recording and putting a flute solo in there anyway.
It's the shakuhachi. It's
So
not
it's
even a flute.
right. It's the Japanese
shakuhachi.
shakuhachi solo in there, known probably only to us and shakuhachi players around the country.
Worldwide.
But we just, we like to put those little touches in there.
So does that make sense for Pat's part?
Yeah, so we really
Anybody?
this was really only a placeholder for that that lead, the solo part.
Does that make sense? The ooze of Pat, the ooze from Pat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do a little of my ooze. Whoops. Okay. We'll do it from I Wouldn't Want It. Wouldn't want it any other way. So my part, from the
Nice.
ahs, 2, 3.
it's cool that you have a shakuhachi, Carol.
Yeah. You going to play it on the Zoom for us? No, says Carol.
I only ever heard about a shakuhachi when I never knew the name of this Japanese end blown flute, but Marcy Marxer and Kathy Fink were on tour in Japan, and Marcy loves to try new instruments, and she got a shakuhachi when she was in Japan. And then we did a bunch of research to find different shakuhachi players around the country when we did this recording, and ended up doing kind of an amalgam of different parts, different end blown flute parts, but including shakuhachi.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So, how is that for my harmony part? Not bad. Okay, great. You all have so much good stamina. This is like a lot of song to learn in a short time. So, I appreciate your stamina. I think that we're at the point where we sing it through.
Yeah.
I know there's a little tag at the end, and there is a tiny bit of a change at the tag. Okay, let's do the little tag.
There is?
Yes.
What's the big change?
A tiny bit.
It's because we play 3 times.
Hearts are in the right place. Hearts are in the right place. Yeah.
Yeah, it just has a little ascending line.
Let's do the last chorus into the into that taggy part. Because I'm not sure we can just land onto the tag is my point. So let's sing the last chorus.
Then we 1, 2, 3. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. Our hearts are in the right place. Our hearts are in the right place.
See, I forgot to put the last E chord in on your chord chart for mine, so that means that the missing your final chord for everybody's ends on G for Pat's, ends on B if you're playing an instrument without a capo. So we just rise up a little bit on that. So our hearts are in the right place. See, we're coming around. Our hearts are in the right place. Our hearts are in the right place. So we could break them down and teach them.
No, I think it's really clear. It's not necessary. Let's just
All
sing
right.
the song.
I trust you, Pat. Let's do it from the beginning, and we'll
2,
wrap it up.
3, 4.
You disappear. I don't know where you go. How could it take so long? I like things clear, planned and decided all. I've been that way all along. You and I, we see things differently, and at times, though we may disagree, I remember you said, holding hands is not just for crossing the street.
And we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. I shape and prune flower bed helps me to clear my head. You let things grow, seeking another view. Nothing's a way to you, you and I. We show love differently. I refine, you tend to let it be. And I remember how you cry when you talk about your daughter. Then we, drawn by the artist's hand, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. Then we, guided by different stars, landed right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. We found this place each from our own perspective, and we remain in sequence to this day. Though we stumble now and then to find our cadence, I wouldn't want it any other way. Years go by, mountain to ocean sand, still hand in hand, by fate or design. We share a common view that led me right to you. Who could know two rooftops from the past would engrave in us this love at last? And we remember we said, I love you for what I am because of you. And we, drawn by the artist's hands, each from a distant land, found the same rooftop. And we, drawn by just different stars, right where we are. Our hearts are in the right place. Our hearts are in the right place. Our hearts are in the right place. More or less.
More or less. It's a big song, I'm telling you. Some of these songs are big. They got lots of moving parts. They got lots of changing parts. But luckily for you, there is an official recording on our website that will have everything the way we intended to sing it, whether or not we got it that way now. So this has been great to come back to see you all. It's been amazing to see you all singing there with us on Zoom and to have the nice comments there. Nice to see you, Takeshi, and all the folks who are joining us on Facebook. Let me see who there is. Yeah, right. All the folks joining us on Facebook, we're so glad you joined us. Thank you to David for showing up from Vegas. How fun. Rada is there. That's nice. Thank you. Popping in to say hello, said Rada.
Yeah, nice.
And just say, I listened to the song on repeat for a whole weekend when I first got it.
That's very sweet.
That is very, very sweet. All right, so this is the moment when we let you know what's coming up. And what is coming up is that this week we are coming back to the East Coast. On Friday, we're going to be part of a really amazing event at the National Portrait Gallery. Our portraits were painted by this fantastic artist and activist named Robert Shetterly in a series called
Americans Who Tell the Truth.
Americans Who Tell the Truth. And he's painted some really fabulous people along, I mean, who we are amazed to be in company with. We love this. You know, I put Frederick Douglass's picture in our newsletter, but people like Medea Benjamin and Stacey Abrams is painted there. Our friend Betty Burks from Wilpf is painted there. So they're both folks you will know the names of and folks you might not. I think it's something like 250 portraits so far have been painted, and there's a film about Robert and that series, and that film has its DC premiere at the National Portrait Gallery this Friday. It's an in-person event. It's free. You can register for it and come Friday evening in Washington, D.C. And then Sunday, we will be doing a benefit concert for State Senator Cheryl Kagan from Rockville and Gaithersburg in Maryland. And she is not only... you know, she's been working on a number of campaigns that are close to our hearts. Getting rid of styrofoam, which is a big deal. She's on the environmental committee. She works on election issues, which, boy, do we need more progressive people and people who are going to be fair-minded about that. And Cheryl Kagan is one of those. So she also is a person who's been hosting folk concerts for many years, including some major concerts that we got to be part of to celebrate the inauguration of Barack Obama, the inaugural, but then she had the inaugural concerts when it was Trump. Maybe the Trump one was the first one. Yes, there was.
It was called an inaugural.
An inaugural. That's right, an inaugural, which was a great concert on that day when there were so many people that they couldn't even count all the people on the mall. As I recall,
it was the night before the Women's March. Yes,
night before the Women's March. So. So Cheryl Kagan, that's on Sunday. We're doing that benefit for State Senator Cheryl Kagan. After that, we're in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania on July 23rd with Chris Matthews. We are also, we'll be at Star Island on Wednesday, July 20th doing a concert. Then we'll be at Kennett Square with Chris Matthews. That's in Pennsylvania on Saturday, July 23rd. Coming to Florida, the first in the early September 10th, Orlando, September 11th, Gainesville, September 16th, Miami. And then we will be in New York in October, in New York, Maryland in October. So sign up for our list. We'll let you know what's going on. And the key question is what's going on right here. Next week, because we're doing the concert with State Representative Cheryl Kagan, that is from 4 to 6 p.m., which is exactly the same time as this on the East Coast, 4 p.m. I believe that might be live streamed. We will find out for you shortly. So we won't be doing Learn a Song next Sunday, the 10th, because we will be doing the concert for State Representative Cheryl Kagan. On the 17th, I think we will be doing Learn a Song, but then we won't be doing Learn a Song again for the next 3 weeks. Sorry about that, but we'll put it up on the website. But we have travel and other sorts of plans that we have to attend to, as they said in that song by Billy Jonas. Attend to. We will put all of that on the website. You don't have to try to remember when we're here and when we're not. But we're in and out here on this little online hybrid thing with you all because of traveling and because it's summer. So we hope you're getting out and getting to enjoy the beach or whatever you are doing for enjoying your summer. We will say thank you once again to our fantastic tech team. As always, Toby, Marcy, Moria, Alice, Paula, and Rada. We love them. Couldn't do it without them. Yes, thank you for posting that, Marcy. You're welcome to send a donation. This is still a part of how we make our living, and being out on the road has been wonderful to see folks, but it's still a little slightly bit iffy because of how the world is now. So we do appreciate any donations, or you can become our patron of the arts.
That's right. It's winter in Australia. We're talking about going to beaches
summer.
And things. Well, stay warm. Bundle up, y'all.
Yes. Janice, it is on Star Island, not in Rye, but off,
correct.
Off the land on the island.
That's right. It's off the coast of Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
You can also take a ferry from Rye.
That's right. You can. So, all right, you all. So we will say thank you, and thanks for joining us on Facebook and folks who are watching on YouTube after the fact. Stay in touch with us and come see us again.
Yeah. Much love, y'all.
We'll
Take
see
care.
you another week.